much for being here, Adam and Mr. McDonald. This is a very distressing situation, but thank you for providing a platform for us to openly talk about it. I'm very grateful. I've been very blessed to live in Berry Hill since I was 2 years old. I don't have any memories of not living on the Flint. All of my summers have consisted of canoeing, kayaking, swimming. We live right next to the Berry Hill Pavilion, where there's a playground and pavilion, and the creek where there is a canoe launch. And spent many years playing on the playground, having countless birthday parties, graduation parties, so many events that you could think of, so many other people in our neighborhood having events at that pavilion, which I think is within 1,000 feet of the proposed Integra plant. So say the river wasn't even there. This is a community place for people to join, and just the smell and sound of that itself just is really sad. And I just want to talk about my personal connection to the river. Growing up on it, it has been a place of peace, yet also adventure and growth. As a young woman growing up, having a place to go where I could kayak and use my imagination and see the beautiful fish and birds. It's such a blessing, and I've been so lucky. And so have so many other people, as you've heard tonight. What I ask of y'all and Mr. McDonald is to just please have empathy. The world needs it now more than ever. Our community needs it. There's so many people that will be impacted by this in so many ways, so just please have empathy. And if any of this resonates with you tonight and you still decide to go through with the permit, I pity you for your lack of compassion. I do. And Mr. McDonald, will the money in your pockets be able to pay off your guilty conscience? Thank you.
I now recognize Jenny Corinne Smith. Please step up to the microphone and clearly state your name and the name of any interest or organization that you represent.
My name is Jenny Smith. I represent Brown Bear Canoe and Kayak Rental and Huntsville City School 5th graders. Obviously, my business is on the river. This facility would definitely affect my business. It would be selfish of me to think of my own personal income and not consider the wildlife. The wildlife would be my biggest concern. At Brown Bear, of course, floating boats do pay the bills, sometimes barely in the winter. Winters are hard, but the boats pay the bills. Our main focus, other than boats, is on conservation, preservation, and education. We partner in every chance we get with FRCA, the Flint River Conservation, the Land Trust of North Alabama, and also Earthscope Environmental Education with Huntsville City Schools. I'm also an educator with that department. We've partnered with Brown Bear, and we host 5th grade field trips at Brown Bear, and we are certified through Auburn's Water Watch program that Susan Weber was describing. We do some chemistry testing and biomonitoring in the river. The kids come, they conduct their own testing and determine whether the Flint River is healthy or unhealthy. If you drove by this afternoon between 10 and 1, you noticed about 65 5th graders at our yard catching crawdads, is what we were doing. So we are against the facility. We want to keep the Flint River healthy. Also, on behalf of Brown Bear, we have documented 2 help enders since we have been on the Flint River in the last 9 years. One was in 2019, the other was just this year. We also documented the first mud puppy ever documented in the Flint River. That was last year, I believe. We have also found a killfish in the river that has not yet been documented. We did not know at that time to get it documented. We do work with Auburn's Heritage Program with biologists in that department. Anytime we find anything on the river that needs to be recognition, we call them to come out and get those species. Both help vendors that we have found have gone to Auburn for genealogy and biology studies as well. We are totally against the water facility. We want to keep our business and our natural resource thriving. Thank you.
I now recognize Matthew Keller. Please step up to the microphone and clearly state your name and the name of any interest or organization that you represent.
I'm Matthew Keller. I'm representing myself. And first, I want to thank you guys for being here. It was a long drive up from Montgomery. You're here to do your duty as a government entity, and as such, there are two major things I want to remind you are duties that are entailed by your position. The first is that you are a steward of taxpayer dollars, and the second is that you're a steward of public health. And those two things need to be said again and again tonight, because those are the things that are most concerning to us here. You heard a lot of talk about property values, you've heard a lot of talk about the growth of the region, and honestly, those don't matter. Yes, the growth of the region is important. Yes, the sewage treatment facility is needed. I don't care about my own property values, that'll be fine. But looking at the way this is being done is your duty. And this does not seem to be what's best for us here. First, got to look at the downriver effects. There are more than just the state level at stake here. For example, we can talk about endangered species. And yes, the Flint River is home to some of those. But there's also others to look out for. For example, what's downriver from the Flint? You get down into the Tennessee Valley Authority area, which needs to be considered when dealing with federal agencies. You also have federally protected wildlands down by the Redstone Arsenal, close to where the Flint empties out into the Tennessee River. You also need to consider a few other things that need to be looked at. For example, the ACF Basin is still the subject of lawsuits between Alabama and the Army Corps of Engineers. Is this going to affect that, given that some of those lawsuits are in regards to water quality? But when it really comes down to it, it's a lot of our concern isn't that a water treatment facility is being built. It's who's building it and their past. And you can ask any sociologist, any psychologist, the best predictor of future human behavior is past behavior. In our community, you've seen and heard many people talk about the facility up in Meridianville. And that one is not being held to standard. The output from that facility is causing measurable damage to one of the fastest growing areas in the city. Huntsville is exploding, especially this region right here. We are bringing in a ton of money to the state through taxpayer dollars in regards to federal contracts. And among those, the impact on the workers is a subject to be taken into consideration. I can tell you, I'm not sure if you've seen the maps up here, but they talked about the Meridianville facility, and the Huntsville airport there is the private airport, but that runs quite a few federal contracts out of it. I worked there myself for some time. I can tell you that the air quality there, ambient air quality, was as much of an issue as the multiple toxic substances I handle every day as an aircraft mechanic. You've also heard from a bunch of folks here talking about the other failures in the past and how they have made a mockery of your organization. They are not in compliance. They are not upholding their agreements, and they have not acted according to their permits. I don't see how allowing that to continue with another facility is in the best interest of anybody involved. I only have less than a minute left, but I really do want to point out here, when a taker violates these, what happens to them? They get fined. Who pays that? It's not the company, or rather it is, but where do they get their money from? Essentially everybody that's in this room tonight. We are paying our utility bills. We are paying our local estate taxes. Their operating budget comes from that. So in essence, we have been paying this company to poison one of the largest growing areas in your state. And we should not be rewarding that with further contracts. With just a few seconds left here, I want to say I grew up about 150 feet from a water treatment facility when I was a kid, in 1993. More than 30 years ago, I was able to live 150 feet to that with less pollution that's being put into our water today. There's no need for this specific plan to be put into action in the means that it is. Thank you.
I have no more registration cards. Is there anyone that did not register that would like to speak at this time? Yeah, I'm not sure. Holly, can I get a card up here? I can. Wait 1 second. I'm going to get a card so I can get your name and everything.
Okay.
Please step up to the microphone and clearly state your name and the name of any interest or organization that you represent.
My name is Stacy Jones. I'm in the interest of myself and my grandkids and kids.
You can go ahead.
It sounds like I've been listening to everybody talk. I don't live in Berry Hill. I live off of Butler Road. My kids have floated to Flint, swam in the Flint, been baptized in the Flint, and it sounds like everybody thinks they're out of choices. You're not out of choices. I've been on a septic system 20-some years. No problem. The houses that are coming in, give these people a choice. If you want a sewage plant build it in an area where no houses are right now.
Amen.
And let those people have a choice. So they don't get near the sewage plant. Don't let these people that have been living here, invested in their property, not give them a choice. It's an investment. A home is an investment. And that's all I really got to say. I know you can put septic systems in, and people can live on septic tanks. I've had mine pumped 2 times in 20 years. Thank you.
I have no more. Would you like to speak, sir? We can go with you. Please step up to the microphone.
I'd like to apologize to everybody. I speak to them, but this is very important. I don't understand.
Please step up, state your name, and the name of any interest or organization that you represent.
My name is Keith Green, and I live in Berry Hills. I've been here since 2007. I'm not understanding everything I'm hearing. I'm hearing that, now I'm a combat vet, 28 years. You got fire coming from an area that hasn't even been opened yet? That's ridiculous. And there's no report of it in the news. Nothing. To Melissa, one of the best neighbors in the neighborhood.
Sir.
Sir, I got you, but these guys are just, it's pathetic. Everybody sits here and they're acting like, okay, I understand you. You're paid to come down here. You get per diem. You're going back. I understand. I'm a government rep. You guys have the opportunity to stop this. How can you keep perpetuating something that has been happening for years? They got sued in 2022. Paid the fines. It's built into their budget. Y'all accepting it. The gentleman says that they're embarrassing you. You're embarrassing yourselves. How can you do it? I haven't had this much, and I apologize. I've been staying out, busy. Government shutdown, busy. This is ridiculous. The amount of crap that they're taking from y'all, everybody wants to hear about all of their, I'm sorry.
Okay, come up to the mic.
Everybody wants to hear about what's going on in the community, what's doing it. I understand, you don't care. You don't live here. We do. These are our neighbors. These are not yours. We're going to go back and we're not going to see nobody here again unless you have to come down here for some type of a requirement. These individuals are not just out here and they're giving stories. These are their lives. Y'all are going to bring in an agency that can't do their current job, and you're going to give them another contract? Past performance counts. If your past performance sucks, why did you get another contract? Every time somebody speaks, somebody is okay. I live it. These guys are shooting over in our neighborhood. Don't know who it was, but why would you allow somebody on open land to shoot towards our area without a burn? That's ridiculous. Unsafe. And it is just untrustworthy. You can't trust them to have open land, but now you're going to allow them to dump sewage into our river? Makes no sense. Everybody here is here for a reason, because you have to be. You have to be because it's a part of your job. It's checking the block. It's checking the block that, yes, we held this town hall. We had them to come down. They gave all of their opinions, but he's going to come back with, well, I'm going to create this amount of jobs. I'm going to put this amount of housing in. I'm going to contribute to your infrastructure. And it's crap, because this is community, and y'all don't care about it. That's what's really bothering me right now. I've never lived in any place this long. 28 years in the military, I moved every 3 years. I've been here since 2007. And y'all are going to come in here and take it down. It makes no sense.
Okay. You didn't have a card, right? Okay. Please step up to the microphone and clearly state your name and the name of any interest or organization that you represent.
So my name is Samantha Griffin, and I was not planning on speaking today, but I wanted to talk and just represent all of North Alabama. There's a lot of people here that own houses on the Flint River, and obviously they're highly economically invested in what happens here. I'm praying that this is not a done deal and that this is still open to reason. I just want to paint the picture that the Flint River is a community of people that use the river for kayaking and floating and fishing. We started using the Flint River about 4 years ago. I've taken my 2-year-old, who's now 6. Me and her have gone out on the Flint River. We kayaked 15 miles in one day, just the two of us. It's somewhere that you're safe, that people look out for each other, and they really welcome everybody. It's like we're welcoming everybody in North Alabama into our backyards. You are welcome here. There's people from Huntsville. There's everybody from all economical backgrounds. It's very affordable. You can grab a raft or a float from Sam's Club. You can get an inner tube from Walmart. You can float the river. You can go out there. You can have fun with your family. You can know that you're safe. You can know if something happens. I've had kayak wrecks on the Flint with my 2 daughters, that people are going to help you and look out for one another. So I just implore, if you do this and you pollute this river, you're not just taking it away from this community, you're taking it away from everybody who travels to the Flint River to use it. People in this area, you got New Hope, you got New Market, you've got Gurley, you've got a lot of people that aren't very affluent. They come out to the Flint River because it's affordable. And if you take that away, they're not going to have a whole lot of options. And that's why we don't live in Huntsville, because we don't want to live in Huntsville. But Huntsville comes out to visit us, and we welcome them with open arms. And I just pray that we'll be able to do that for decades to come. Thank you.
I'd like to recognize Scott Ammons. Please step up to the microphone and clearly state your name and the name of any interest or organization that you represent.
Scott Ammons, North Alabama Canoe and Kayak. So, I got here in Huntsville 20 years ago. The Flint River was beautiful. There was no industry on it. There was a river. I started a kayak shop 18 years ago. I put 150,000 people on the river. A lot of these people every one of those 150,000 people have stopped at the gas station, the grocery store, the liquor store, or every canoe I've ever rented, kayak, taxes have been paid on it. If this happens, an industry will be destroyed on that river. That I have turned it into a river. I mean, an industry. In 18 years, I've got 30,000 Facebook friends. We are known. You will shut down an industry. If you go to the convention center in Huntsville right now, as a tourist from another state, they're going to tell you about the Space and Rocket Center, Cathedral Caverns, and the Flint River. The convention center did not know much about the Flint River. We have made it an industry here. You will change a whole way of life, and industry has been created. In the 70s, Madison County named the Flint River a canoe trail. I don't know if anybody has, and that came up in 20 years. It was designated as a canoe trail 50 years ago. We still want that, guys. Please. Thank you for coming up.
I now recognize Ethan Moldavsky. Please step up to the microphone and clearly state your name and the name of any interest or organization that you represent.
My name is Ethan Moldavsky. I represent myself. I'm from Chicago. I moved here a few months ago, and people don't really look down at Alabama. People do look down at Alabama. They don't think it's a good state. They think people are stupid here. It's like, what's there to offer here? People are not aware, especially North Alabama, the caves, water, mountains. There's so much nature here that you should be proud of. Working for ADEM, that's what you got into this career for. I'm a civil engineer. I don't think I can work for the government like that, but I sincerely applaud the fact that you're able to commit your entire lives, your careers to doing this stuff. And I mean, after everything you've heard tonight, if you still go through with this, like what happens if the EPA stops existing in the next few years? NPD, yes, it's a pretty weak system. If that goes away, this plant is going to exist, this plant is going to operate. ADEM, you need to have more power. I mean, maybe there's legislation that needs to be involved. Obviously, that's beyond your control, but this is your chance. This is, as people have said, this is your chance to stop it before it becomes a problem. And, I hope you make the right decision.
I now recognize Wendy Oakley. Please step up to the microphone and clearly state your name and the name of any interest or organization you represent.
Wendy Oakley, just representing myself. I don't think that I could add anything to all of the things that have been said tonight. They know far more than I do, everyone that's spoken tonight. But I just wanted to first just a reminder for you guys that the primary business of government is to protect its citizens. And the state of Alabama's creed actually says that Alabama is a democracy that safeguards the liberties of each citizen and to the conservation of her youth, her ideals, and her soil. And of course, ABM's mission statement is for all citizens, to assure all citizens of the state a safe, healthful, and productive environment. So I'm just here to respectfully challenge you to discharge your duties as protectors. You're the protectors of our land and our waterways. So I just ask you to please do your due diligence, have an independent assessment of the current condition of the river and how the water will be affected with the proposed wastewater treatment plant before you make a decision. Thank you.
I have no more registration cards. Is there anyone that did not register that would like to speak at this time? Since no one else has indicated their desire to speak, please be advised that the public comment period will end at 5 p.m. tomorrow, Wednesday, October 15th, 2025. All comments must be received at the offices of the department in Montgomery by that time. After consideration of all oral and written comments, the department will make its determination regarding the proposed permit action and prepare a response to all relevant comments received. Thank you for your participation this evening. This hearing is adjourned.